Second deed is the renewal of the Mosaic covenant. And this act is reported in Nehemiah 8. There's an extended public reading of the Torah of Moses, and that's followed then by a renewal of the Mosaic covenant. When the 7th month arrived, the Israelites being settled in their towns, the entire people assembled as one man in the square before the water gate, and they asked Ezra the scribe to bring the scroll of the teaching of Moses with which the Lord had charged Israel. On the first day of the 7th month, Ezra the priest brought the teaching before the congregation, men and women and all who could listen with understanding. He read from it, facing the square before the water gate, from the first light until midday, to the men and the women and those who could understand. The ears of all the people were given to the scroll of the teaching. The word here is Torah. Ezra the scribe stood upon a wooden tower made for the purpose. Ezra opened the scroll in the sight of all the people, for he was above all the people. As he opened it, all the people stood up. Ezra blessed the Lord, the great God, and all the people answered, Amen, Amen, with hands upraised. The leaders and the Levites explained the teaching to the people, while the people stood in their places. They read from the scroll of the teaching of God, translating it and giving the sense so they understood the reading. Apparently, the assembled people no longer understood the classical Hebrew of the Bible, if it was formulated in that. I mean, what is this scroll? I mean, this is the first time now that we're hearing about the Torah as a scroll and being read to people. So this is historically quite fascinating. But the people don't seem to be able to understand it. Ezra and his assistants are probably translating it into Aramaic, which is now the lingua franca of the Persian Empire, giving the sense of the text perhaps as it's being read. We really can't be certain what it is that Ezra was presenting as the Torah of Moses. It may have been the Pentateuch basically in the form that we now have it. D and P are very strongly reflected in Ezra. He quotes from them, he refers to them, and then interprets and applies them in new and interesting ways. And in any event, this Torah was to become the basis and the standard, with a lot of good, heavy Persian imperial support, for the Jewish community from that time forward. And at a festival celebration a few weeks later, there was an additional public teaching of the law and a recital of Israel's history that once again laid special emphasis on Israel's obligations, what she owed to Yahweh. The recitation of that history is found in Nehemiah 9, and again, as an interpretation of the calamities that Israel had faced, it's consistent with the earlier prayer of Ezra that I read. God has withheld nothing from Israel. Yet Israel has defied God, rebelled against him, killed the prophets who had urged them to turn back to the covenant. And God tolerated Israel's sin as long as he possibly could, but finally he had to punish her. But even so, in his great compassion, God didn't abandon Israel completely. Verse 33 of this prayer then turns and addresses God. Surely you are in the right with respect to all that has come upon us, for you have acted faithfully, and we have been wicked. So again, this justification of God and blaming of the Israelites for all that has befallen them, and learning a lesson for that in the future, no intermarriage.